Jessica Harper, 36, adjusted her fleece jacket in the dim hallway of the Pine Hollow Community Center, her hazel eyes catching a flicker of doubt in a foggy windowpane. The evening workshop on emergency preparedness, a volunteer effort she'd organized in rural Minnesota, wasn't her usual stage, but a drive to share her knowledge had brought her here. Growing up, Jessica had been the quiet planner, sketching survival strategies in her notebook, dismissed by peers as overly cautious. Now, she was Colonel Jessica Harper, U.S. National Guard, leading ice storm response operations across the Midwest, but she'd kept her rank private, even from the locals. She'd come to teach, not to shine. The community center's meeting room buzzed with the murmur of attendees, folding chairs creaking under a dozen locals. Jessica stepped in, her boots soft on the linoleum, her senses sharp from years of crisis leadership. The group included Sarah Mitchell, 34, a grocery store manager with a skeptical smirk, Daniel Burke, 38, a truck driver with a loud laugh, and Laura Evans, 32, a teacher whose polite nods hid doubt. Their chatter carried a hint of amusement, and Jessica's chest tightened, recalling college peers who'd laughed at her hobby of disaster planning. Sarah's eye rolls, Daniel's teasing, Laura's dismissive comments. She wasn't here to prove herself, just to share skills and help. "Jessica, you're really into this stuff?" Sarah asked, leaning back, her tone light but cutting.
"This survival talk, it's like a hobby, right?
"What do you do for work?"
Plan camping trips."
Jessica's fingers brushed her satchel, but her smile stayed steady. "I work in emergency management," she said. "It's more than a hobby." She'd risen from a scholarship student to a colonel, coordinating disaster responses, but she kept that private.
Daniel chuckled, tossing a pen.
"You're gonna tell us to hoard canned beans? I've got better things to do." Laura nodded, her smile polite but thin. "It's sweet, Jessica, but is this practical?" The words stung, echoing years of being seen as the overly serious one. Jessica set up her projector, her mind drifting. She'd nearly cancelled the workshop, tempted to stay home with her maps, but a need to serve had pulled her here. Her smartwatch buzzed, a coded alert from Lieutenant Emily Walsh, her deputy. "Ice storm alert.
Urgent." Stand bei. Jessicas Pulse quickenet.
She'd planned a quiet evening, but her role in crisis response was relentless. She tapped a reply, "Sitrep?"
No response yet.
Jessica began her presentation, her voice steady, explaining how to prepare for power outages and ice hazards. The group listened, but Sarah's smirk lingered, Daniel yawned, and Laura scribbled distractedly. "This is cute," Sarah said, interrupting, "but who has time for all this? It's just a hobby, right?" The room chuckled, their skepticism a quiet weight. Jessica's cheeks warmed, but she pressed on, sharing a story of a blizzard survival plan. The group's eyes wandered, their amusement clear.
A low howl of wind shook the windows, the room darkening as clouds thickened outside.
Jessica paused, her instincts flaring. She noted the exits, her body alert. This wasn't just wind, it was an ice storm brewing, fast and dangerous.
Sarah's voice cooed trug, sharp. "Jessica, this is dragging.
If you're just playing survivalist, maybe wrap it up. We're not into your hobby." Daniel and Laura nodded, their smiles dismissive. Jessica's heart sank, but she held her ground, ready to suggest checking the weather, when her smartwatch buzzed again, Walsh's voice crackling, "Colonel Harper. Ice storm emergency, we need you." Before she could respond, sirens wailed across the valley, their piercing cry slicing through the wind. The windows rattled, ice pelting the glass. Sarah gasped, her pen dropping. Daniel's laugh died. Laura's eyes widened. Jessica's posture shifted to command, her satchel set down. She moved to the door, the group trailing, as the roar of engines grew louder, floodlights sweeping the parking lot. A military convoy, Humvees and rescue trucks, rolled into the lot, their green frames stark against the ice. A soldier leapt out, his fatigues dusted with frost, and saluted sharply.
"Colonel Harper.
Your orders are needed."
The group froze, Sarah's notebook slipping to the floor.
Jessica's voice was steel.
"What's the situation, Sergeant?" Sergeant Michael Reed, 31, steht firm. Convoys ready, ma'am.
Ice storms hitting Pine Hollow, 10 miles west. Power's out, roads iced over, thousands trapped.
Command needs you. Jessica nodded. The workshop forgotten. Let's move.
She followed Reed to a Humvee, the group watching, stunned. Sarah's voice, shaky, called out, "Jessica?"
What's this?
Lieutenant Emily Walsh waited inside, her tablet flashing with weather data.
Ma'am, the storms knocked out power in Pine Hollow.
Roads are impassable, homes trapped. 3,000 residents at risk.
You raise a lead.
Jessica climbed aboard, Walsh beside her. As the Humvee sped off, the center shrank below, the group's silhouettes stunned against the lamplight. The radio crackled with urgent chatter. Jessica donned a headset, Walsh's voice clear. Storm hit at 1800 hours.
Pine Hollow's got 3,000 at risk.
Power outages, iced roads, trapped residents. We've got 100 responders, 4 Black Hawks, and FEMA ready.
Jessica's mind locked into crisis mode.
She'd led flood responses, but ice storms were sudden, treacherous ice, trapped lives. The workshop, the group's laughter, it dissolved. She was Colonel Harper, and lives depended on her. Walsh handed her a tablet with weather maps. Pine Hollow's downtown is iced, bridges frozen. Rescue teams and de-icing crews are ready. Jessica studied the maps, zooming on Pine Hollow streets. Hazards. Ice buildup, downed power lines, hypothermia risks, Walsh said. Shelters filling fast. The Humvee's tires crunched ice, the town blurring below. Jessica's jacket was out of place. "Get me fatigues at the ops center," she said. "And a full brief on the storm." Walsh nodded, sending orders. Jessica's phone buzzed, her friend Ellen 40, "Jessica, a convoy?"
What's happening?
She ignored it. The workshop was nothing, the storm was everything. They approached the ops center, a field base 10 miles out, lit by generators. Jessica disembarked, the air sharp with frost. The base hummed with responders.
Walsh handed her a dossier on the storm. Sudden, deadly.
Jessica's eyes narrowed, her focus absolute on the crisis ahead. The Humvee's tires crunched over icy roads, weaving through Minnesota's frost-laden fields toward the ops center, 10 miles west of the Pine Hollow Community Center. The air was sharp with the bite of frozen mist, a stark reminder of the ice storm paralyzing Pine Hollow. Colonel Jessica Harper gripped her tablet, its screen glowing with weather data, ice accumulation maps, power grid failures, and thermal imaging of trapped residents. At 1830 hours, the storm had knocked out power across the town, iced over roads, and endangered 3,000 lives, with homes and vehicles stranded in a frozen grip. Jessica's role demanded she restore order and save every life before the ice claimed more. The ops center, a cluster of tents and de-icing equipment in a snowy clearing, pulsed with urgency under generator-powered floodlights. Jessica stepped out, her fleece jacket dusted with frost, her hazel eyes scanning the scene. Responders in insulated gear loaded salt spreaders, engineers checked snowplows, and medics prepped warming kits. Lieutenant Emily Walsh followed, her tablet flashing with real-time updates. "Ma'am, Pine Hollow's downtown is a sheet of ice, power's out, roads impassable. We've got reports of hypothermia cases spiking. We've got 2 hours before conditions worsen." Jessica nodded, her mind locked into crisis mode. "What's the status on assets?" 4 Black Hawks for rescue, 100 responders with de-icing gear, FEMA on standby with supplies, Walsh said. Local responders are overwhelmed, and panic's clogging evacuation routes. Jessica studied the tablet, zooming in on Pine Hollow's frozen streets, where cars were encased in ice. She'd managed flood responses before, but ice storms were treacherous, slippery surfaces, hypothermia risks, and collapsing structures. "Get me the fire chief and Pine Hollow's mayor," she said. "We need ground truth." Walsh patched a radio call. Fire Chief Daniel Burke, 42, came through, his voice strained. "Colonel, Pine Hollow's a mess, power lines are down, fires sparking from short circuits.
We got 800 trapped, no clear roads out."
Jessica's jaw tightened.
"Hold your lines, Chief.
"We're sending air support and clearing roads. Stay in touch." She turned to Walsh. "Deploy 2 Black Hawks with rescue teams to downtown. Prioritize hypothermia cases. Get snowplows to main roads by 2000. Walsh relayed orders, her fingers flying over her tablet. Jessica moved to the main tent, where a digital map projected the storm's impact. Sergeant Michael Reed approached, his insulated gear crusted with ice. "Ma'am, choppers are airborne, but ice is slowing ground teams. We've got reports of a school in Pine Hollow, 20 kids, 3 teachers, trapped in a frozen building." Jessica's heart lurched. Kids were her priority. "Send a Black Hawk with a rescue team," she ordered. "Thermal imaging, warming kits. Ground team with de-icers to clear a path." Reed nodded, rushing to his radio. The map showed Pine Hollow's icy hills, power lines sagging under frost. Jessica's mind raced. She'd stabilized a chemical spill once, but this storm's scale was relentless. "Walsh," she said, "status on the power grid?" "Outages across town," Walsh replied. "Substations are frozen, short circuits sparking. Engineers are assessing, but we need generators." Jessica nodded, her fingers brushing her jacket, a habit from high-pressure ops. "Send a team with portable generators," she said. "And get a drone to monitor downed lines." She grabbed her headset.
Black Hawk 1, this is Colonel Harper.
"Status on downtown rescues." "Approaching target," the pilot replied. "Ice is thick, but we're spotting heat signatures. Dropping teams now." "Move fast," Jessica said. "Medics on standby." She turned to Walsh. "Get FEMA to set up a shelter outside Pine Hollow, warming tents, blankets, food." Walsh nodded, dispatching orders.
Ensign Sarah Mitchell, 29, flagget her.
"Ma'am, drone shows a nursing home in Pine Hollow, 15 residents, trapped by ice doors, hypothermia risks rising." Jessica's stomach knotted. "Send a Black Hawk with medics," she ordered. "De-icing gear, thermal blankets. Ground team to clear a path." Mitchell nodded, relaying orders. The drone feed showed Pine Hollow's downtown, ice-coating buildings, power lines sparking. Jessica's pulse steadied. She'd save them all. "Burke," she said, "status on the fires?" "Containing small blazes," Burke replied. "But short circuits are sparking spot fires. We need more foam." Jessica nodded. "Send a Black Hawk with foam to downtown," she said. "Prioritize the school rescue." She checked her watch, 18:45. The storm was fierce, but her team was relentless.
Mitchell, flagget her.
"Ma'am, drone shows a stranded ambulance in Pine Hollow, 2 paramedics, 1 patient, trapped by ice."
Jessica's Brit kaukt.
"Send a Black Hawk with medics," she ordered. "De-icing gear, thermal imaging. Ground team to clear a path." Mitchell relayed orders, and the feed showed the ambulance, ice encasing its doors, paramedics signaling.
Walsh's voice coot trug.
"Ma'am, Mayor reports 60% evacuation. Roads are iced, slowing buses." Jessica's jaw clenched. Panic could derail everything. "Send MPs to manage crowds," she said.
Non-lethal, keep roads open.
Walsh sent the order, and Jessica studied the feed, the school rescue underway. Medics pulling kids from the frozen building, 8 out.
Burke radioed.
"Colonel, fires are under control, but we've got a collapsed store, 10 workers trapped." Jessica's heart raced. "Send a Black Hawk with a rescue team," she ordered.
De-icing gear, medics. Clear a path.
Burke confirmed, his crew racing to the site. The feed showed the nursing home rescue starting. Medics breaking ice doors, residents wrapped in blankets. Jessica's pulse steadied. She'd save them all. "Walsh," she said, "status on the school?" 15 kids out, Walsh replied. "Teachers next. De-icers are working."
Jessica exhaled. Keep it moving.
She turned to the map, noting Pine Hollow's shelter, crowded but holding. The power grid was the linchpin, warmth was life. "Mitchell," she said, "status on the nursing home?" 10 residents out, Mitchell replied. "Medics treating hypothermia." Jessica's shoulders eased. "Get them to the shelter." The ops center hummed, engineers hauling de-icers, medics distributing blankets. The workshop, the attendees' laughter at her hobby. It was nothing. Lives were at stake. The ops center thrummed with relentless urgency, its tents cloaked in a frosty haze under floodlights at 1900 hours. The ice storm crisis gripping Pine Hollow showed no mercy, with power lines down, roads frozen, and 3,000 residents at risk. The school rescue was nearing completion, with 15 of 20 kids and 2 of 3 teachers airlifted, and the nursing home had 10 of 15 residents safe, but new reports of trapped stragglers and sparking power lines kept Colonel Jessica Harper's focus razor-sharp. Her role demanded she restore warmth and save every life before the ice tightened its grip. Snow crunched underfoot as engineers hauled de-icing gear, their radios crackling through the storm. Lieutenant Emily Walsh updated her, her voice taut against the wind's howl. "Ma'am, Pine Hollow's shelter is holding 1,200 evacuees, but 20 new hypothermia cases emerged. The ambulance rescue is complete, 2 paramedics, 1 patient safe. We've got reports of a community center in Pine Hollow, 12 evacuees, some with frostbite, trapped by ice doors." Jessica nodded, her flight suit crusted with frost, her hazel eyes locked on the digital map. "Status on the school rescue?" "All kids out," Walsh said, pointing to the drone feed. "1 teacher left, medics treating. Ice is slowing cranes." Relief surged, but Jessica stayed sharp. "Get that teacher to the shelter," she said.
And update ME on the power grid.
She studied her tablet, zooming in on Pine Hollow's frozen streets, power lines sagging under ice. She'd managed flood responses before, but this ice storm's chaos, treacherous surfaces, hypothermia, was relentless. Sergeant Michael Reed approached, his insulated gear dusted with snow.
Ma'am, Anginas Report Substationsfrozen, Short Circuits Sparking.
"We need more generators to restore power. Fires are contained, but spot fires could flare." Jessica's jaw tightened. Power loss could kill. "Send a team with generators," she ordered. "And get a Black Hawk with foam to suppress sparks near the community center." Reed nodded, rushing to his radio. The drone feed shifted to Pine Hollow's community center, ice sealing its doors, evacuees signaling from windows. Jessica grabbed her headset.
Black Hawk 2, this is Colonel Harper. Status on the community center.
"Approaching now," the pilot replied. "Ice is thick, but we're dropping de-icers and medics." "Move fast," Jessica said. "Medics on standby." She turned to Walsh. "Get FEMA to reinforce Pine Hollow's shelter with supplies, blankets, heaters, food." Walsh relayed orders, her tablet flashing. Ensign Sarah Mitchell rushed up, her face tense. "Ma'am, drone shows a gas station in Pine Hollow, tanks icing over, short-circuit risk from downed lines." Jessica's heart lurched. "Send a fire team to secure the tanks," she ordered. "And get a Black Hawk with foam to support." Mitchell nodded, dispatching orders to Fire Chief Daniel Burke's crew. The feed showed the gas station, ice coating tanks, sparks flickering nearby. Jessica adjusted her headset, her habit under pressure. "Burke," she said, "status on the fires?" "Spot fires out," Burke replied. "But downed lines are sparking. We need more foam." Jessica nodded. "Send a Black Hawk with foam to downtown," she said. "Prioritize the community center." She checked her watch, 19:15, July 14, 2025. The storm was fierce, but her team was relentless.
Mitchell, flagget her.
"Ma'am, drone shows a stranded delivery truck in Pine Hollow, 2 drivers, trapped by ice."
Jessica's Brit kaukt.
"Send a Black Hawk with medics," she ordered. "De-icing gear, thermal blankets. Ground team to clear a path." Mitchell relayed orders, and the feed showed the truck, drivers waving through an iced windshield.
Walsh's voice gut trug.
"Ma'am, Mayor reports 70% evacuation. Roads are iced, slowing buses." Jessica's jaw clenched. Panic could derail everything. "Send MPs to manage crowds," she said.
Non-lethal, keep roads open.
Walsh sent the order, and Jessica studied the feed, the school rescue wrapping up, the last teacher safe, medics treating frostbite.
Burke radioed.
"Colonel, community center teams got 8 evacuees out. 4 left, trapped by ice." Relief surged, but Jessica stayed focused. Keep de-icing, she said.
Medics ready.
She turned to the map, noting Pine Hollow's shelter, crowded but stable. The power grid was the linchpin, warmth was life. Read, she said, status on the nursing home? All 15 residents out, Reed replied. Safe at the shelter, medics treating.
Jessica exhaled.
Get them heaters. The feed showed the community center rescue progressing, 10 evacuees out. The gas station's tanks were being de-iced, foam suppressing sparks.
Walsh flagget her.
Ma'am, engineers report power grid stabilizing. Generators are helping, but we need more.
Jessica's pulse steadied.
Send them, she said. And keep foam drops cycling. The feed showed the delivery truck rescue starting. Medics breaking ice, 1 driver out. Mitchell, she said, status on the community center? Last evacuees out, Mitchell replied. Safe, medics treating frostbite. Jessica's shoulders eased. Get them to the shelter. The ops center hummed, engineers hauling de-icers, medics distributing blankets. The workshop, the attendees' laughter at her hobby. It was nothing. Lives were at stake. Reed approached.
Ma am Gasstationssekure. No sparks.
Shelters need more supplies. Jessica nodded. FEMA's on it, she said. Distribute what we have. The feed showed the delivery truck clear, drivers safe. The community center was empty, evacuees treated.
Walsh's voice came trug.
Ma'am, Mayor reports 80% evacuation. Roads are clearing, but we've got a collapsed diner, 6 patrons trapped. Jessica's heart raced. Send a Black Hawk with a rescue team, she ordered.
De-icing gear, medics. Clear a pass.
Walsh relayed orders, and the feed showed the diner, ice sealing its doors, patrons signaling. The power grid was stabilizing, but the storm loomed. Jessica's resolve was absolute. She'd save every life, her focus unwavering against the ice's chaos. The ops center thrummed with relentless precision, its tents battered by sleet under floodlights at 1930 hours. The ice storm crisis gripping Pine Hollow showed signs of strain, with 85% of the town's 3,000 residents evacuated. The school, nursing home, community center, and delivery truck rescues were complete, and the gas station's tanks were secured, but the collapsed diner with 6 trapped patrons and a faltering power grid kept Colonel Jessica Harper's focus razor-sharp. New reports of stranded stragglers and sparking power lines demanded her full attention. Her role was to restore warmth and save every life before the ice tightened its grip further. Sleet crunched underfoot as engineers hauled de-icing gear through the storm, their radios crackling with updates. Lieutenant Emily Walsh updated her, her voice steady despite the wind's howl. Ma'am, Pine Hollow's shelter is holding 1,500 evacuees, with 12 new hypothermia cases reported. The diner rescue is underway, 4 patrons out, 2 pinned. We've got reports of a stranded family in Pine Hollow's outskirts, 5 people, trapped in an iced-over house near a frozen creek. Jessica nodded, her flight suit crusted with ice, her hazel eyes locked on the digital map.
Status on the power grid.
Generators are holding, Walsh said, pointing to the drone feed. But substations are icing over, sparking short circuits. Engineers need more de-icers to prevent outages. Jessica's jaw tightened. A grid failure could plunge Pine Hollow into darkness, worsening hypothermia risks. Send another team with de-icers, she ordered. And get a Black Hawk with foam to suppress sparks near the diner. She studied her tablet, zooming in on Pine Hollow's frozen streets, power lines gleaming under ice. She'd managed flood responses before, but this ice storm's chaos, slippery surfaces, electrical hazards, was relentless. Sergeant Michael Reed approached, his insulated gear soaked with sleet. Ma'am, engineers report substations at 70% capacity. Ice buildups heavy, sparking fires. The diner's rescue is slowed by ice on the structure. Jessica's heart raced. Send a fire team with foam, she ordered. Prioritize the diner. She grabbed her headset.
Black Hawk 3, this is Colonel Harper. Status on the diner.
Approaching now, the pilot replied. Ice is thick, but we're dropping de-icers and medics. Move fast, Jessica said. Medics on standby. She turned to Walsh. Get FEMA to reinforce Pine Hollow's shelter with supplies, heaters, blankets, food. Walsh relayed orders, her tablet flashing. Ensign Sarah Mitchell rushed up, her face tense. Ma'am, drone shows a utility pole in Pine Hollow, wires sparking, fire risk high from ice weight. Jessica's stomach knotted. A fire could spread through frozen homes. Send a fire team to secure the pole, she ordered. And get a Black Hawk with foam to support. Mitchell nodded, dispatching orders to Fire Chief Daniel Burke's crew. The feed showed the utility pole, sparks flickering in the ice. Jessica adjusted her headset, her habit under pressure. Burke, she said, status on the diner? Last 2 patrons almost free, Burke replied. Medics treating, de-icers clearing. Ice is slowing us. Jessica nodded. Keep de-icing, she said. She checked her watch. 1945, July 14, 2025. The storm was fierce, but her team was relentless. Walsh, she said, status on the family? 3 out, Walsh replied. Medics treating hypothermia, 2 left in the house.
Jessica exhaled.
Get them to the shelter. She studied the map, noting Pine Hollow's shelter, crowded but stable. The power grid was the linchpin, warmth was life. Reed, she said, status on the gas station? Tanks secure, Reed replied.
Foams holding, no sparks. Jessica's pulse steadied.
Good. Keep foam drops cycling. The feed showed the diner rescue progressing, all 6 patrons out, medics treating hypothermia. The utility pole's sparks were being suppressed, foam coating the wires.
Mitchell flagget her.
Ma'am, drone shows a stranded ambulance in Pine Hollow, 2 paramedics, 1 patient, trapped by ice. Jessica's heart raced. Send a Black Hawk with medics, she ordered. De-icing gear, thermal blankets. Ground team to clear a path. Mitchell relayed orders, and the feed showed the ambulance, ice encasing its doors, paramedics signaling.
Walsh's voice code trug.
Ma'am, Mayor reports 90% evacuation. Roads are clearing, but panic's slowing buses. Jessica's jaw clenched. Panic could derail everything. Send MPs to manage crowds, she ordered.
Non-lethal, keep roads open.
Walsh sent the order, and Jessica studied the feed, the family rescue progressing. 4 out, 1 to go.
Burke radioed. Colonel, diner's clear. Moving to the utility pole.
Relief surged, but Jessica stayed focused. Secure those wires, she said. She turned to the map, noting Pine Hollow's shelter, stable but packed. The power grid was the priority. Walsh, she said, status on the family? All 5 out, Walsh replied. Safe at the shelter, medics treating. Jessica's shoulders eased. Get them heaters. The feed showed the ambulance rescue starting, medics breaking ice, 1 paramedic out. The diner was clear, the utility pole secured.
Mitchell flagget her.
Ma'am, engineers report grid stabilizing. Generators are holding, but we need more de-icers. Jessica nodded. Send them, she said. And keep foam drops cycling. The feed showed the family safe, the ambulance progressing, 2 out. Mitchell, she said, status on the ambulance? Last patient out, Mitchell replied. Safe, medics treating.
Jessica exhaled.
Get them to the shelter. The ops center hummed, engineers hauling de-icers, medics distributing blankets. The workshop, the attendees' laughter at her hobby. It was nothing. Lives were at stake. Reed approached.
Ma'am, utility pole secure. No sparks.
Shelters need more supplies. Jessica nodded. FEMA's on it, she said. Distribute what we have. The feed showed the ambulance clear, patients safe.
The power grid held, generators humming. Mitchell's voice came trug.
Ma'am, Mayor reports 95% evacuation. Roads are clear, but we've got a collapsed cafe, 3 workers trapped. Jessica's heart raced. Send a Black Hawk with a rescue team, she ordered.
De-icing gear, medics. Clear a pass.
Mitchell relayed orders, and the feed showed the cafe, ice sealing its doors, workers signaling. The grid was stabilizing, but the storm's bite lingered. Jessica's determination burned steady, her mind fixed on saving every life amidst the ice's unrelenting grip. The ops center pulsed with a hard-won calm, its tents bathed in the dim glow of floodlights at 2015 hours. The ice storm crisis gripping Pine Hollow teetered on the brink of resolution, with 95% of the town's 3,000 residents safely evacuated. The school, nursing home, community center, delivery truck, family, diner, and ambulance rescues were complete, and the gas station and utility pole were secured. Yet, the collapsed cafe with 3 trapped workers and the fragile power grid kept Colonel Jessica Harper's focus razor-sharp. Her role demanded she lock down the town, ensuring no lives were lost and warmth was restored before the ice could resurge. Sleet pelted the tents, engineers hauling de-icing gear through the snow, their radios crackling with updates. Lieutenant Emily Walsh updated her, her voice steady despite fatigue. "Ma'am, Pine Hollow's shelter is holding 1,800 evacuees, with no new hypothermia cases reported. The cafe rescue is underway, 2 workers out, 1 pinned. Engineers confirm the power grid is stabilizing, but substations are still icing over." Jessica nodded, her flight suit crusted with frost, her hazel eyes locked on the digital map.
Status on the Café rescue.
"Cranes are clearing," Walsh said, pointing to the drone feed. "Last workers almost free, medics treating. Ice is slowing us." Relief surged, but Jessica stayed sharp. "Get that worker to the shelter," she said. "And update me on the grid." She studied her tablet, zooming in on Pine Hollow's frozen streets, substations gleaming under ice. She'd managed flood responses before, but this ice storm's chaos, treacherous surfaces, electrical hazards, was relentless. Sergeant Michael Reed approached, his insulated gear soaked with sleet. "Ma'am, generators are holding at 80% capacity. Deicers are working, but we need more to prevent outages. Fires are out, but sparks could flare." Jessica's jaw tightened. A grid failure could plunge Pine Hollow into darkness. "Send another team with de-icers," she ordered. "And get a Black Hawk with foam on standby for sparks." Reed nodded, rushing to his radio. The drone feed showed the cafe, rubble parting as cranes lifted beams, the last worker nearly free. Jessica grabbed her headset.
Black Hawk 5, this is Colonel Harper. Status on the Café.
"Workers out," the pilot replied. "Medics treating, safe now."
Jessica exhaled.
"Get them to the shelter." She turned to Walsh. "Get FEMA to reinforce Pine Hollow's shelter with supplies, heaters, blankets, food." Walsh relayed orders, her tablet flashing. Ensign Sarah Mitchell rushed up, her face tense. "Ma'am, drone shows a utility pole in Pine Hollow, wires sparking, fire risk low but present." Jessica's heart lurched. "Send a fire team to secure the pole," she ordered. "And get a Black Hawk with foam to support." Mitchell nodded, dispatching orders to Fire Chief Daniel Burke's crew. The feed showed the utility pole, sparks flickering in the ice. Jessica adjusted her headset, her habit under pressure. "Burke," she said, "status on the shelter?" "Stable," Burke replied. "No new fires, supplies holding. Ash cleared from roofs." Jessica nodded. "Keep eyes on the grid." She checked her watch, 20:30. The storm was easing, but the grid was critical. "Walsh," she said, "status on the grid?" "Generators at 90%, Walsh replied. "Deicers are holding, no new sparks."
Jessica's pulse steadied.
"Good.
Keep de-icers zykling."
The feed showed the cafe clear, workers safe. The utility pole was being secured, foam suppressing sparks.
Mitchell flagget her.
"Ma'am, drone shows a stranded pickup truck in Pine Hollow, 2 residents, trapped by ice near the hills." Jessica's heart raced. "Send a Black Hawk with medics," she ordered. "De-icing gear, thermal blankets. Ground team to clear a path." Mitchell relayed orders, and the feed showed the truck, residents waving from the cab.
Burke radioed. "Colonel, utility pole is secure. No sparks."
"Shelters need more heaters." Jessica nodded. FEMA's on it, she said. Distribute what we have. The feed showed the pickup truck rescue starting, medics breaking ice, one resident out. The cafe was clear, the utility pole secure.
Walsh's voice came trug.
Ma'am, mayor reports 98% evacuation. Roads are clear, buses moving. Jessica's shoulders eased. Open a third shelter outside Pine Hollow, she said. FEMA to stock it.
The Ops Center hummed, Anginas dismantling der Eisers, medics distributing blankets.
The workshop, the attendees' laughter at her hobby. It was nothing. Lives were at stake.
Mitchell flagget her.
Ma'am, engineers report grid fully stabilized. No new outages.
Jessica exhaled, the weight lifting.
Keep monitoring, she said. And get me a final sweep for stragglers. The feed showed the pickup truck rescue wrapping up, both residents safe, medics treating. Burke approached. Ma'am, all fires are out. Shelters are calm, supplies arriving. Jessica nodded. Good. Keep eyes on the grid. The feed showed the truck clear, residents safe. The grid held, generators humming.
Walsh's voice came trug.
Ma'am, FEMA reports all shelters stocked.
No new hazards.
Storms easing.
Jessica steppet outside, Downs grey light breaking trux's lead.
The ops center quieted, responders weary but proud. She turned to Walsh, Reed, and Mitchell. Your work saved thousands, she said, her voice firm but warm.
This is your victory.
Walsh nodded, a faint smile breaking through. Reed and Mitchell saluted, pride in their eyes. Jessica climbed into a Humvee, the ops center fading behind. The storm was contained, Pine Hollow safe, no lives lost. The workshop, the attendees' dismissal, it was nothing. She'd faced her past in the crisis, saving thousands. The sunrise glowed faintly, a new day dawning. Colonel Harper sat back, her strength rooted in the lives she'd shielded, her heart steady in the quiet triumph.